Welcome to The Evidence-Based Marketer, a podcast focused on the science of marketing with a special emphasis on financial services. Whether you're looking to grow your business or provide a better client experience, we focus on how you can use data and research and time-tested strategies to be a more effective marketer.
Welcome to The Evidence-Based Marketer. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Normally we focused on good ideas and best practices. Today we're going to look at 10 bad marketing habits that you should stop today. I'm William Chettle, Director of Experience and Engagement with Symmetry Partners.
Andrea Loyne, Digital Marketing Strategist here.
And as you know, Andrea, I've always believed that you can learn a lot more from bad examples than from good examples.
It's true.
It makes it a lot clearer when you look at something bad, what you might be doing wrong or how you can improve. When you look at something that's good, it's sometimes hard to actually understand what makes it good. It's generally very clear what makes something bad.
Oh, very clear.
So without further ado, we're just going to dive into our top 10 bad marketing habits to stop today. And for me, number 10 is being generic. We see a lot of times in people's marketing, especially on their websites, they use incredibly boring stock photography. I've seen the same pictures again and again and again. In financial services, our field, it's almost catastrophic how bad some of the generic pictures are. I've seen so many pictures of seniors on a beach or on a boat playing tennis, and it's just, who cares? But also a lot of times with even content, it can be super generic and it feels like really the person's not trying. And so it's really important to be differentiated. Look for interesting photography. And, there's so many things. If you have a talented graphic designer, it can even take a boring picture and through treatments, make it interesting, make it excitement, make it unique to you.
The other thing that I tend to see very generic is who they're targeting. Everybody with a pulse is not who your marketing should target. It should be targeted to the niche you focus on, to the people that you can help. And being too generic even with that could, hurt your marketing.
Exactly.
So for me, having...
Is this number 9?
It's number 9, and it's meaningless social media content. If you...
Happy Pi Day.
There is a market to have, cute, fun things on your social media, but you need to have it... most of the time, what you post should be valuable content for the people that you're trying to target. If you just constantly repost everything that you see, you're not helping the people that are following you. If you want to really make a difference, you need to make sure that your content educates the people on your social media channel. You can't just see a nice post from your friend down the street and you want to share it. Have some strategy behind why you're sharing it.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that a little bit more because that's another bad habit of not having strategy, but have a strategy for your social media. It should not just be celebrating major and minor national holidays, which is something you see a lot of, or just frankly using really boring content from third-party providers. Who cares?
Yeah, you want to provide some kind of value and having that strategy, showing that you have thoughtfulness and things into put thought into what you're posting, shows the people that you're trying to reach, your prospects and your clients, that you actually care and are helping them along the way.
Excellent. Now, for me, number 8, what's your product? Especially when you're dealing with services. If you're selling widgets, usually it's clear that the widget is the product. But in services, it can sometimes be really unclear what your actual product is. I sat down a couple of weeks ago with some consultants from a variety of they were service providers and consultants, and I go through their websites, and I had actually no idea what they were trying to sell me.
Yeah,
and it's so important. Even in something like financial services, people think maybe the product is stocks, bonds, mutual funds. In this case, the product is actually probably your advice and your guidance and your service. But having that clarity, having that laser focus on what you do and the benefits that you provide is so important. And it's something where I'm afraid a lot of people just miss the boat. They don't understand that very fundamental thing. What's their product?
Well, and the other side of that is not being able to tell, but then you go to the website and there's a laundry list of services that they provide. That doesn't help me either. And if you're using any kind of industry jargon to make your services seem more important, they're less important because you're not helping that person know what problem you can solve for them.
Exactly. And there's a consultant who I actually value, and he's Patrick Lencioni, and he's written some books on business. And he says the fundamental question you have to answer in any business, first question, what business are you in? And you'd be surprised, even in a lot of big and successful businesses, they can't actually answer that question really well.
And their websites and their social medias and their marketing, they don't either. If you're a financial advisor, it should say financial advisor somewhere on your website. It's important.
Exactly.
So for me, number 7 is not analyzing metrics. Now, we talk about that a lot here on the Evidence-Based Marketer. We're all about the data and driving towards that data. But if you are putting all of this bad content into the world, the way that you find out what didn't work is looking at the metrics. Same way you find out what did work. And if you're not using them, you're pretty much just throwing stuff at the wall to see if it sticks.
Yeah, and even sort of worse than not looking at them is ignoring them, because I know I've been in meetings where it's sort of, okay, the data says that, but my gut tells me this. It's like, okay, but the data says that. You're entitled, as the saying goes, to your own opinions, but not your own facts. And you kind of have to look at it and listen to it. And unfortunately, not every business, not every firm has a decision-making process that is grounded in evidence and facts. And in the digital realm, the facts, the evidence, the metrics are there. And, you can not look at them, but you really are missing out on incredible opportunities to actually do things better.
That is true. That is true.
For me, number 7 of the marketing bad habits to stop today, it's what I call, it's all about me. And egotism is really, especially in the service industry, can be a huge problem. You generally don't find if you're selling widgets that there's a lot of egotism about the manufacturer of the widget, but people forget that ultimately, especially if you're trying to sell a service, you've got to appeal to the client. You've got to talk about you. You've got to talk about the benefits to them, and it shouldn't all just be a glorification of how amazing and wonderful and credentialed you are. But you see it again and again, and it's not just the sort of the language that you use. Sometimes I've seen websites where it's lots and lots of pictures of the founder, the president, and it's all about what that person does. And there's just that failure to recognize that, people are ultimately doing business with you, but they want to see themselves in your marketing. They want to see how you can help them, and they don't want to have a long glorification of you.
Yeah, and they want to connect with you. Things like your bio being just a laundry list of all of the things you have accomplished, where you went to school. Is it a necessity anymore? Not when there's things like LinkedIn. Keep that to LinkedIn. Keep your bio a little bit fun, a little lighthearted. Let them see not only your business side, but they want to connect with you on a personal level, especially in financial services. They're not just hiring you to do their roof. They're hiring you long term to help them with a plan. They want to connect with you. And if all you're doing is talking about yourself, or even putting your bio in third person, put it in first person. Talk to them as if you're right there in front of them with their bio. It makes a difference.
Yeah, I had a meeting a few weeks ago with a major provider of marketing automation systems, and literally 75% of the meeting was about how great the firm was, and they have never actually told me what they did. I mean, I kind of knew, but they never told me. It was all about just how remarkable they were. So needless to say, we're not doing business with them.
All right. So number 5 for me is having no call to action in your marketing. Somebody hits your website, that's great, but you want to drive them to do something. You want to drive them to take some kind of action. Same with your email marketing or even a flyer. Having a flyer these days in the digital world, you could have a QR code there or a small URL for them to hit. And then there you go. You can track it. Did it work? Was it successful? But you want to make sure you give them something to do. Don't just say, visit my website and see how great I am. Visit my website and let me show you some services I offer. And here's a valuable resource for you.
It's absolutely critical, because your marketing should be working for you 24/7. And if you don't have an offer, if you don't have a call to action beyond sort of, hey, maybe we should meet sometime, it isn't working as hard as it could be. And you have no way to actually track the effectiveness. Is something resonating? Is a particular offer getting clicks, or is it not getting clicks? And if all it is again, a glorification of you and your services, you are, I think, losing substantial business.
Agreed. Or, if it's just a brochure site, a site that just shows, here's all the pretty things I can do for you. You want to drive them to do something. What we look at here at Symmetry is on our website, we want to make sure that people are either taking an action on our first page or at least driving to that contact us page. What's their next step with us? Contact us, get in touch with us. And there's some links there they can do so to do that with. Schedule, a meeting link. They could fill out a form, or they could call us right by clicking on the website.
Yeah, and even on social media. Now, not every social media post should have a call to action. Sometimes you maybe do want to celebrate National Pie Day, but wherever possible, it should be linking to checklists or white papers or events that you're giving people reasons to act.
Yep, drive value, drive your value home with them as to what you can provide.
Moving along to number 4. Poor user experience. I can't tell you, this is particularly true on websites, but I mean, I'll be in stores that are poorly designed. Not having that mindset of creating a great and easy experience for clients and potential clients to deal with you. I've been on websites where I've had to struggle just to find how do I contact somebody because it's not clear, where things are not intuitive, where this often happens with restaurant websites, which are super cool. But I'm just trying to find the menu. Where is it?
Don't hide things in your website.
And I'm struggling to find it. So you have to create and emails. A lot of times emails, anything that's actually critical or a link that I would like to click on is buried way down, surrounded by a lot of meaningless verbiage. And it really, really is important. And there's even a lot of commerce sites. You look at like Amazon, and this is somewhat deliberate, but it's still frustrating. Like their user experience is terrible. Try finding something semi-specific on Amazon. It can be, and what they're just trying to do is upsell you on their own stuff.
Oh, of course.
But it's incredibly frustrating because sometimes I just want to find that very specific or semi-specific thing, and I'm wading through lots of irrelevant content, which we have the ability to filter that out.
Yeah, and doing things such as bolding words out, right? So most people these days don't have time to sit there and read every word on your website. But if you highlight and bold the, important things, the things that you really want to hone in on someone, they're going to scroll, they're going to see those, and they're going to know.
Yeah, and that's true of websites and emails, anything, because you want to be able to appeal to people who are readers and people who are skimmers. So that they can get value just by sort of looking briefly down the page, hitting those bold words, those bolded items, and get a general sense of the content. And so you have to have it really for both. And of course, part of having a great user experience is understanding actually who your client is, that's my number 2. So,
so for me, number 3 is expecting a magic bullet. Everybody, you'll see out there 100 ways to win at marketing, 10 ways to improve your marketing today, and all of these things are inching towards something. You're never going to find that one piece that's just going to, all of a sudden I have 1,000 new clients because I sent out the world's greatest email. Or I want the website where I don't have to ever interact with this client. They just go on, they see me, and they want to work with me. Expecting that magic bullet in marketing, it can't happen. You say a lot, marketing's a game of inches. You want to take a look at the data and you want to move forward with the things that work and stop the things that don't work. But it all adds up over time to help build your whole brand and build your presence online, on social media, things like that. Nothing that you do is gonna be that, okay, now I'm a millionaire.
Yeah, and you have to, if you're a marketer, you have to be prepared for gradual, incremental success. And it's interesting, I've talked to a lot of people who have tried something and said it doesn't work. So, seminars, they don't work. I did one, it didn't work. Mail campaigns, tried one, didn't work. Very few marketing initiatives also are going to work if you just do them once or twice. You also have to be committed in most instances to doing it again and again and again and doing it for a period of time. Doesn't mean you're not measuring the results, but expecting things to happen quickly, expecting, if I just do one webinar, one seminar, one mailer, it's going to, knock the lights out. It doesn't work that way.
Well,
if it did, we'd be out of a job.
Completely, because everybody would have figured it out by now. But with AI the way it is too in technology today, things like social media ads and marketing on social media for those webinars and for those seminars, they're learning you over time. So doing it once is not going to be the same as when you do it the 10th time. That AI is learning you.
Mm-hmm. And that leads right into number 2, which is not understanding your clients, because there's a lot of great data out there. There's AI keeps getting better and better, but it is so annoying when you have a company that doesn't seem to understand you. I still get emails from J. Crew offering me women's clothing and children's clothing, and I've never bought women's clothing for my wife, and I have certainly never ever bought children's clothing. So stop annoying me with this. Stop annoying me with irrelevant content. And you get this from a number of providers. And look, I understand that there's some companies that offer a wide variety of things, but you have pretty good data in most cases on me, on what I buy, what I like, and not understanding that is really, really frustrating. And and it can even be in another direction. We got an email the other day from an advisor, won't mention his name, and he'd set up this through a third party, and he was offering some kind of ebook, and I ignored it because it wasn't an ebook that was interesting to me. A week later, I get an email, same campaign, saying, "Are you all right? Because we sent you something that was very valuable and you didn't click on it, so we're worried that everything's okay with you." And that I found that really kind of, I don't know why I found it so ridiculous and infuriating, but it was just sort of really, you just have no understanding of me and what appeals to me, and then, reinforcing your lack of understanding with a really awkward and kind of ridiculous
pushy.
email. Yeah, and pushy, yeah.
Yep.
And again, on you'll see this a lot on websites, because people are trying to focus on who they are versus who their clients are. Images, fonts, language may not be really as focused to their ideal audience as it could be and it should be. You need deep client empathy, deep customer empathy, and you just have to really understand who you help, who you serve, what they want, what they need, what their demographics are, what their psychographics are, and reflect that in your marketing. And if you're not, you're failing.
Yeah, you're going to miss out on a lot of things. People can now get all of the data they need to get on you from a variety of sources, but they need to find you as a person, connect with you, and go. And if you have an image of, old people on sailboats, that's not going to connect with me because I want to travel the world. I don't want to sit on a sailboat and enjoy my retirement.
All right. Drum roll, please. We're at the number 1 bad marketing habit to stop today.
And for me, that is not having a marketing strategy. We can do and put into place all of these things that we've talked about, and we can stop doing all the bad. But if you have no strategy behind your marketing and you are just like, let me try this today, let me try this today, let me do a seminar, let me use social media today to do this, or an email tomorrow to do this. You need to have a deliberate strategy. You need to know your messaging, your target audience, who you're going after, and make sure that you build all your marketing around that so it looks like a cohesive business, not just one-offs here and there.
Yeah, one of the most annoying questions I get is, what's working now? It's a completely meaningless question because unless it's tied to a strategy, specific client, specific business, something that would work really well for one person is going to be terrible for another person. And there's a great quote I really like from the writer Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, which is, "A goal without a plan is just a wish." And unfortunately, a lot of people are just wishing out there, and they don't know where they're going or why they're going there or how to get there. And a plan doesn't have to be that complex. Some people are afraid of it. They think this is going to take weeks of their time. Having just a basic sense, and we've got some great tools here at Symmetry actually to help people put together plans, a growth plan especially. But it's just who do you serve? Who do you want to serve? What are you going to provide them? How are you going to communicate it? And what's the value that you provide? And then bring it all together into some specific strategies and tactics.
Yep. And it's as easy as going quarter by quarter and knowing your themes, your messaging. Is there, do you want to focus on investment planning? Do you want to focus on financial planning this quarter? So reach out to your current clients, reach out to your prospects using the same messaging around that theme, and do it for each quarter. Articles that you share on social media should all interact with that theme. Things that you email to your clients, checklists that you use. We have a great tax planning checklist. And so if you use that, make sure you're doing that in your quarter, that your theme is tax planning or tax prep. There's things that you can do, small things that will make your strategy really work for you.
Yeah. And if you have the strategy, then it's much easier to say, hey, this piece works, or it's not part of the strategy, so we're not going to use it. But Yeah, like in so many things, the fundamentals apply, and so many people ignore the fundamentals.
Well, the funny thing about this whole podcast today is, if you have a marketing strategy, you're pretty much not going to be doing the 10 things that we've just discussed here.
Well, you might do some of them. But so I think still pay attention, because even if you have a great strategy, that doesn't mean you're not going to be generic and use boring photography.
Well, that's true.
But yeah, strategy actually is a great inoculation against a lot of bad marketing habits.
Well, that's all that we had for you today. Join us next time for another episode of The Evidence-Based Marketer. I'm Andrea Loyne. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Symmetry Partners, LLC is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in states where it is properly registered, excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration of an investment advisor does not imply any specific level of skill or training and does not constitute an endorsement of the firm by the Commission. No one should assume that future performance of any specific investment strategy, product, or non-investment related content made reference to directly or indirectly in this material will be profitable. As with any investment strategy, there is the possibility of profitability as well as loss. Due to various factors, including changing market conditions and/or applicable laws, the content may not be reflective of current opinions or positions. Please note the material is provided for educational and background use only. Moreover, you should not assume that any discussion or information contained in this material serves as the receipt of or as a substitute for personalized investment advice. Please note that nothing either stated or implied on this podcast is intended to be compliance or legal advice regarding your marketing program.